Caitlin Clark released a statement yesterday, as well as the Indiana Fever, about the end of her season.
After spending several long months away from the spotlight, Caitlin Clark has finally broken her silence, and her bold announcement has ignited a whirlwind of fresh rumors throughout the entire basketball community. Fans everywhere can't stop buzzing with excitement, while analysts are frantically searching for solid answers, and WNBA executives are suddenly under intense pressure. Could Caitlin truly be considering an exit from the league? Are top European clubs preparing record-breaking offers to lure her overseas? And what about Sophie Cunningham, currently sidelined for the season with an injury? Could she actually be planning to follow Caitlin abroad once she recovers? At this moment, every detail about Caitlin's future feels uncertain, and the league has never experienced such heavy pressure before. The choices she makes in the next few crucial weeks could potentially reshape the future of women's basketball forever. Let's break things down step by step. Caitlin Clark has now made it official. She's committed to returning to the WNBA next season. But her announcement didn't end there. During a press conference that instantly commanded attention from fans and media alike, Caitlin emphasized that this comeback comes with firm conditions, and the league must be prepared to take her concerns seriously. Supporters were expecting nothing more than a routine update, yet instead, Caitlin delivered something far greater, a bold challenge aimed directly at the WNBA itself. For months, she has endured relentless hard fouls, punishing hits and rivals, constantly pushing her limits both physically and mentally. Now, she's finally drawing a bold line in the sand. Her message couldn't be clearer. Either the league steps up to protect its athletes more effectively, or she's fully prepared to explore opportunities elsewhere. That one powerful statement sent shockwaves throughout the entire basketball world. This announcement was never just about Caitlin Clark deciding to come back. It was about how much longer she's actually willing to remain in the WNBA if real changes aren't made. The buzz surrounding her statement is enormous, with fans everywhere already debating what her future might hold if the league fails to rise to her expectations. Then came the moment that instantly captured every analyst's attention. Caitlin stared directly into the cameras and declared, "If they bully me, mock me, or injure me again, I won't stay." Those words landed with the force of a buzzer beater launched from half court. Consider what that truly means. This isn't simply frustration spilling over, it's calculated leverage. Caitlin understands her worth better than ever, and now she's using that power to apply maximum pressure on the league to protect its stars, strengthen officiating, and build a safer, more professional playing environment. All throughout her rookie campaign, Caitlin Clark endured more punishment than nearly any first-year player in modern WNBA memory. Defenders went after her relentlessly, bumping her on drives, hammering her off screens, and sending her crashing to the floor time and time again. That relentless physicality has sparked a growing debate among fans and analysts alike. Is the league truly doing enough to protect its athletes, especially the one who has quickly become its biggest attraction? And here's the hard truth. Caitlin isn't bluffing. She has multiple options on the table, and everyone inside the basketball world knows it. Her words weren't just directed at opponents. They served as a sharp warning to league executives, referees, and even team owners. Either protect the players or risk losing the very face of your league. Now the real question has shifted. Not whether Caitlin will step back onto the court next season, but whether the WNBA can convince her to stay for the long run. And this is exactly where things start to get even more intriguing. Caitlin has now made a stunning revelation. She's already fielding multi-million-dollar offers from some of Europe's most powerful basketball organizations. And these aren't just mid-tier opportunities. We're talking about the elite leagues overseas, where salaries often far exceed what most WNBA players currently earn. That single disclosure shifts the entire conversation in an instant. Picture Caitlin suiting up in front of sold-out arenas in Spain, Italy, or Turkey, earning double, even triple, her present income while simultaneously expanding her global profile. European clubs have been aggressively pouring resources into attracting marquee talent, and Caitlin Clark sits firmly at the very top of their recruiting wish list. More than money is on the table as well. These offers include perks like guaranteed player protection, lighter travel demands, and the kind of international exposure that could turn her into a worldwide icon. For a player as marketable and influential as Caitlin Clark, the overseas appeal is undeniable. Fans can't help but wonder, what if she actually accepts one of these lucrative deals? Could the basketball world witness Caitlin dominating European courts before eventually making a triumphant return to the WNBA later in her career? That once distant scenario suddenly feels like a very real possibility, and it piles even greater pressure on the league to raise its standards. The WNBA simply cannot afford to lose its brightest and most bankable star, yet Europe is presenting a stronger case with every passing day. And just when supporters thought the announcement couldn't possibly get any more dramatic, Caitlin unleashed another bombshell. She revealed she's seriously considering taking Sophie Cunningham with her if she decides to leave. That's right, Caitlin didn't hold back, publicly praising Sophie as the ultimate teammate, a natural leader, and the kind of enforcer every superstar wants by her side. Throughout this past season, Sophie Cunningham has earned a reputation as Caitlin Clark's on-court shield and off-court ally. Whether she's breaking up tense confrontations, calming heated exchanges, or delivering her own bone-crushing screens, Sophie has consistently been the protector Caitlin could rely on. The connection they've forged, both professionally and personally, is impossible to ignore, and Caitlin made it very clear she won't be making any major career decisions without factoring Sophie's future into the equation. The potential impact is massive. If Caitlin were to sign overseas and Sophie chose to follow, the WNBA wouldn't just lose one superstar, it would watch two cornerstone players walk away together. That kind of move would symbolize unity, loyalty, and more importantly, a bold statement about how players feel they're being treated inside the league. Almost immediately, fans lit up social media, speculating whether this could trigger a ripple effect, encouraging other athletes to start exploring international opportunities as well. And then, the story escalated further. Sophie herself responded. In a candid interview, she made her stance crystal clear. She's ready to stand by Caitlin's side, no matter where that path leads them next. Sophie Cunningham didn't mince her words. Speaking firmly, she said, "If Caitlin isn't treated with respect, then I have no reason to stay either." That single statement reverberated across the entire WNBA, sending shockwaves through executives, coaches, and fans alike. Sophie isn't just another role player. She's a seasoned veteran and the emotional backbone of the Indiana Fever. Her support for Caitlin carries serious weight, and it highlights just how deeply this issue is resonating inside the locker room. Almost instantly, fans began rallying behind the idea of Caitlin and Sophie sticking together, whether that means continuing their fight within the WNBA or taking their talents overseas. Even rival players have started paying closer attention, fully aware that this duo has the potential to become one of the most influential partnerships women's basketball has ever seen. What makes Sophie's backing so significant is her hard-earned credibility. She's battled through painful injuries, survived bitter rivalries, and thrived under immense pressure, winning the respect of teammates and opponents across the league. So when a player like Sophie finally says enough is enough, people don't just hear it. They take it seriously. At this point, the conversation has grown far bigger than Caitlin Clark alone. It's about the choices that could reshape not only the Indiana Fever roster, but potentially the entire future direction of the WNBA. So why has Europe suddenly become such an attractive option? The reasons are clear: better pay, stronger player protection, and greater international visibility. Top European leagues are putting money on the table that, in many cases, doubles what Caitlin currently earns in the WNBA. But the incentives don't stop there. Overseas schedules are shorter, less punishing, and designed to ease the physical toll players face. For Caitlin, who has already absorbed more punishing hits in one season than many veterans endure in years, that factor alone carries major weight. Yet it isn't only about rest. It's about opportunity. Competing in Europe would place her in front of massive global audiences, giving her the chance to expand her brand while testing herself against world-class talent. And Caitlin isn't the only one tempted. For Sophie Cunningham, the draw is equally powerful. Prestige, stability, and the chance to make a united stand alongside her teammate on an international stage. If Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham decided to make the jump overseas, they would instantly become one of the most marketable and recognizable duos in European basketball. But here's the real twist. Every ounce of interest from Europe only strengthens their bargaining power back home. With each new multi-million-dollar offer placed in front of Caitlin, the pressure on the WNBA grows, not only to match the money, but to match the culture, the protection, and the overall playing environment. The big question now looms. Will the league step up and meet this challenge, or will it risk losing two of its brightest stars to an expanding global stage? The moment Caitlin's announcement hit the public, social media erupted, and stadiums buzzed with speculation. Indiana Fever fans, stunned yet supportive, flooded games with signs pleading for Caitlin to stay. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, WNBA executives scrambled, holding emergency meetings, crunching numbers, and searching for strategies to keep their rapidly rising superstar from slipping away. Because the truth is simple, Caitlin Clark is not just another player. She's a marketing powerhouse, a ratings magnet, and the centerpiece of the league's most promising revenue surge in years. Losing her, especially to Europe, wouldn't just sting on the court. It could shake sponsorships, disrupt TV contracts, and cut into ticket sales, triggering ripple effects that would extend far beyond basketball itself. Across the basketball world, analysts remain sharply divided. Some argue that Caitlin Clark's announcement is nothing more than a high-stakes negotiation tactic, her way of forcing the WNBA to implement long-overdue, league-wide changes. Others, however, believe she's truly weighing a serious move overseas, considering the financial and professional opportunities already laid out before her. Regardless of her ultimate intentions, one fact is undeniable. The WNBA cannot afford to miscalculate Caitlin Clark's influence. Fans know it, executives know it. And now, with her bold announcement echoing across every headline, the pressure on the league has reached an all-time high. The basketball community itself feels split down the middle. Some experts insist Caitlin is strategically leveraging Europe's lucrative offers to strengthen her bargaining position within the WNBA. Others warn that if the league doesn't act quickly, it may soon find itself watching its brightest star slip away to a global stage. Plenty of observers believe Caitlin Clark is truly preparing to make the leap overseas if the WNBA refuses to change. What makes the situation so compelling and so volatile is the sheer unpredictability of it all. On one hand, her deep loyalty to the Indiana Fever and her bond with teammates like Sophie Cunningham suggest she genuinely wants to stay and build something lasting in the league. On the other hand, her visible frustration with officiating, player safety, and the league's misplaced priorities makes the idea of leaving not just possible, but increasingly realistic. Even insiders with close ties to the situation admit they have no clear sense of which way Caitlin is leaning. That cloud of uncertainty has become fuel for endless debates on sports talk shows, fan forums, and inside front offices across the league. Everyone is searching for answers, but Caitlin is playing this situation flawlessly, keeping every option open while maintaining all of the leverage. And in doing so, she's doing more than shaping her own career. She's rewriting the playbook for how modern athletes negotiate power in professional basketball. This isn't just a personal decision, it's a precedent. Caitlin Clark is showing what happens when a superstar fully understands her worth. If she ultimately walks away, the WNBA won't just lose a player. It will face a crisis unlike any it has seen in years. Since her arrival, Caitlin has single-handedly elevated attendance, boosted television ratings, and sent merchandise sales soaring. Losing her would mean far more than losing points on the scoreboard. It would shake the foundation of the league itself. The Indiana Fever's games are now regular sellouts, and television ratings surge every time Caitlin Clark steps onto the court. Remove her from the equation, and the league risks losing invaluable momentum at a moment when it's fighting to expand its audience and lock down bigger sponsorship deals. That's why this story is no longer about just one player. It's about whether the WNBA can evolve fast enough to meet the demands of a new era, one where athletes have more choices, more leverage, and more bargaining power than ever before. If Caitlin and Sophie Cunningham were both to walk away, the impact would be seismic. It could spark a chain reaction, inspiring other stars to reevaluate their own futures and consider lucrative overseas opportunities. That kind of exodus would force the WNBA to confront its structure head-on and ask difficult questions it has avoided for too long. The league understands it must act quickly, but the uncertainty lingers like a storm cloud. Will they make the meaningful changes Caitlin is demanding, or will they gamble everything on blind hope that her loyalty will outweigh the bigger issues? And then, just when it seemed her message had reached its peak, Caitlin closed with one unforgettable line, words that echoed louder than any stat sheet or highlight reel. My future, and Sophie's, might be bigger than the WNBA itself. Those final words left the entire basketball world in shock. Were they a warning to the league? A subtle hint that she's ready to walk away? Or a declaration that Caitlin Clark now sees herself as something far greater than just another player? Whatever her true meaning, the message couldn't be clearer. Caitlin Clark holds all the leverage, and she knows it. Fans are glued to every development. Teams are drawing up contingency plans. Executives are scrambling behind the scenes, desperate to secure her long-term commitment. But Caitlin isn't in a rush. She understands her worth, and she knows that every step she takes from this point forward won't just define her career. It will shape the trajectory of women's basketball itself. One truth is undeniable. The coming months will set the course for everything. And so, the ultimate question now lingers like a cliffhanger over the sport. Will Caitlin Clark stay, becoming the face who leads the WNBA into its next golden era? Or will she take her talents overseas, rewrite the rules, and change the global game forever?